And we got a cooch.
What's up?
Stream is live.
Of course, stream is live. We'll tell. Get him.
Say that every time I go to the bathroom.
Merry Christmas, I guess.
Nice shirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sweatshirt
Thanks.
is fantastic.
It's very Christmassy.
Oh yeah, you could say that. Where'd you get it from?
The internet has all the things.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for something, I think I entered in video game ugly sweater, and it came in and everything was upside down, and then I complained, and they sent me a updated one, but I'm sure it was not made in Cleveland. So,
what do you mean everything was upside down? Like,
hold on. Shall I?
The entire pattern was upside down. Feel free. But
that's so weird.
Yeah, it was not. It was the oddest. But what's up, JC?
You need
there
audio.
it is. There's the upside down version.
Genius, if you're not wearing that during the show while Cooch wears his, I'll be very upset.
It feels like a really, really warm material, though.
It is.
I would die. I would die.
That sounds like a genius problem.
Yeah.
It's a bizarro sweater.
Yeah, I was all summer. Every time I saw it, I'm like, maybe this would make a good mask. But I don't know that it's, good material for that. It's kind of stretchy.
And also, it would probably make your face warm and itchy.
That's true.
It's real nice.
Maybe a dice bag of holding.
Mm.
You can put this dice in your bag and hold it.
John, I think you're muted.
He's getting things squared away yet.
Okay. Nope.
Testy,
nope.
1, 2, testy, test.
We can see you. Can you hear us?
That's
half
the problem. Yeah,
got that one.
Can you see that?
And of course, I forgot to mess with the music. So we're musicless again this week.
It came through on the rewatch on Twitch.
No music.
That's the sound. The sound when you put the intro on.
Oh no, that music's fine. I'm talking about the
background. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. That's true. Yeah, you are correct. There was no background.
Hey John, did you try I was gonna say, did you try unplugging it and plugging it back in again?
Now you see me.
So how's everybody's weekend?
Fantastic.
Good. The little D&D with the kids. Got them to the Centaur before the Dragon Barrow is where we ended. So they're ready to go in. And hopefully none of them get buried in dirt. It's a problem people have.
Oh, only crazy, reckless people get buried in dirt.
Did you teach your kids how to check for traps?
This is where they learn that.
That would be on parenting. So.
All right, children, we're going to Target. Be sure to check for traps.
I mean, to be fair, like potholes full of water and stuff like that in the parking lot. Like,
we're heading to the checkout. Roll a persuasion check.
Yeah, right. Have you ever seen Scrubs?
I love.
Yeah,
Scrubs.
I used to watch that. Yeah.
So the episode where he's riding his motor scooter and he hits the pothole of water, he's like, I'm gonna hit the water, and he goes down and he goes underneath and pops right back up. Yeah, that makes me laugh every time.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hey, there you go.
There we go. Discord's weird sometimes. Bigger.
Well,
Cool
if
is the other side of the pillow.
Discord's not working, try Datcord. Sorry.
Oh boy,
No.
UP humor.
You should be sorry about that.
No, he shouldn't. That was fantastic. Discord, Datcord.
Sometimes you got to know your DM.
I was going to show you this. Oh, shit. I almost knocked my microphone over. I was going to show you this a couple weeks ago, and I completely forgot. My mom keeps dropping books off for us.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
That is badass.
I'm going to read it again, because why would I not?
Do it.
Hang on a second. I'll go get something for you. I'll make you guys go, whoa.
We were just cleaning off books, and my wife was like, "Do you want to get rid of all these old magic books?" Like,
if you have any I don't have, let me know. But
Did you ask
pretty
her
much got
also
all
if
the
she
ones
wanted?
that came in the fat packs.
Did you also ask her if she wanted a divorce?
never would. I got to take care of the kids myself then.
Yeah, that does seem like a hassle.
Approximately, I'm guessing somewhere in the range of, let's see, mid 80s, 80, probably 87, 88. I got these as a Christmas present. And I was going through and unpacking my bookshelf, and I found
Dragonland.
Dragonlance
Dragon.
Yeah.
Twin Legends series.
I love those.
Nice.
I was like, holy shit. And I'm looking at the covers of them. $3.95.
Yep.
It costs more than twice that per book this size now.
I love Dragonlance books were fantastic. We had probably about a half a dozen of them, and I think I must have donated them like years ago because they're just nowhere to be found unless my brother took them. My brother could have them, but
So if I take the first book and I flip through the pages, there's a very clear broken part of the binding. It's the map.
oh,
Nice.
How many times I just opened the book and looked and stared at this map, and
there are naked girls on that map.
I mean, quite honestly, it was like, dude, I wasn't even into girls yet. I was like 10.
Oh, I
If
figured
that.
that's the only reason you'd
They
sit
were
and
still
stare at a
gross
map.
and had cooties at that point in my life. No, this specific book right here is probably this in the D&D cartoon or what has led me to large enjoyment of fantasy.
Just about a week ago, I reread Arena. Haven't read that in probably 15, 20 years.
How's it hold up? Good.
It's good. It's definitely, it was written to go with the cards. You can tell, like, I mean, they specifically mention card names in there as opposed to just describing a creature. So, you know, but other than that, I mean, the story's still solid. The, the houses and the whole tournament.
Fun fact. A character name I use frequently. I have the character name in a couple of different games, including World of Warcraft. Curlin, the leader of the Brown House. Yeah. So,
yeah, I smiled when I saw that.
In fact, in several games, she's named Curlin Rawl, which leads to a whole different set of
crossing over.
Yeah.
Something tells me those two characters wouldn't get along very well now. Curlin is. Oh, spoilers if anyone's not read the first book. Sorry.
How dare you?
I think we're well beyond the timing of
the statute of limitations.
Yeah. Did you see he passed away?
Yes, I did see that.
Who did?
Terry Goodkind. writer of the
Author.
Sword of Truth series, which the Legend of the Seeker television show was based on.
Squiggy passed away too.
Who did?
Squiggy.
Oh yeah. Like,
Laverne and Shirley, Lenny and Squiggy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or one of the brownies from Willow.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, he's in a bunch of stuff.
Mhm.
He was
Mhm.
he was the principal at the high school in was that what the hell movie is that? The movie where they make fun of like I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream. Oh, Scary Movie.
Oh, scary movie, yeah.
Scary movie. That's why it didn't come to my mind. I've only ever seen parts of that.
Oh dear God, you have to watch the whole thing.
Speaking of Scream, shout out to Matthew Lillard, who also plays D&D.
Oh fuck yeah!
I'm sure he'll
I
get
love
that
Matthew
message.
Lillard.
I mean, especially considering we're
You
pre-live
never know.
or pre-show, so
Pre-show.
You never know.
you never know
Maybe
who's tweeting who.
this weekend's the weekend that Greg Tito got up at 5 a.m. to watch us live.
Who did?
I need a
I'm
little
safe
card that says
run.
name drop every time.
If we're on Greg Tito's map, I would do a cartwheel.
Maybe we should just start making clips and just sending them, tweeting them clips, shouting them out.
Shouting out Matthew Lillard.
I think I might
Matthew
do that
Lillard, shout
See-
out.
just for fun.
See, we had some Patreon action there. too,
Celebrity
right?
D&D shout out.
Yes, we did. And Mr. Jack Marsh, who just said good morning in the chat.
Nice. Hi, Jack.
Much appreciated.
Jack.
I just need to
Good
go
morning,
and
good
look at
morning.
Patreon to see what I owe you.
It's the thing about setting Patreon tiers. You set them and then you forget about them until they matter.
Uh-huh.
It's like, oh, hang on a minute.
What's up?
Gotta do this.
Oh.
What tier is it? What's on this tier?
I do think that depending upon how it goes and how fast I can make them, I am going to start making some dice holders, some magnetic so they close. Then you can pop it open and roll dice in it.
That'd be
Like wormwood style stuff.
Except not that expensive and not nearly as good quality because I don't know what I'm doing yet.
You just described me to a T. Not as expensive and not as good quality.
Sold.
We're the low budget D&D stream.
Nailed it.
All right, it is 8:30. Are we
It's
ready?
that time.
I don't know. Are you guys ready? It's cold out there.
Yes. Ready I am.
Baby, it's cold outside.
Have you seen my boy?
Thirsty am I. All right, I'm putting us on.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Two Nerds, One Quest. I am your host and DM, JC. I look confused by that. I actually know who I am. Don't worry. I'm here with the usual suspects. Wow. I'm going that route. The usual suspects. The other nerd that helped start this all, Tom Norman, playing Aronan today.
I've been confused
As you
about
guys
who I
every day.
am since probably about 1982.
That's the wonderful thing about D&D is you can make up who you are and no one's going to question it. And you can actually do questionable things and get away with it without being thrown in a actual jail. You might
As
get
I've
thrown in a metaphorical.
as I've proven already.
And of course, also the next one to join us was Ryan Kupta, Krixis, Cooch,
Hey, good morning. Getting them.
our fatherly tiefling. And then, of course, the latest addition to the party, the genius, the lazy dragon, who has moderated for us for a long while and has graciously joined us with the presence of Doc.
Yes, it's been fun so far. We finally finished my first day in the campaign. It was a long one.
It was a long day. Yes, it was.
So,
And you lived. You didn't die.
and I
Chalk-
lived. I didn't get
chalk
thrown
that up as a win.
overboard.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
You're doing better than most on your first day. Krixis' first day, he was tied to a bedpost. On Aronon's first day, he died. Kind of. Ellie's first day, she took on the burden of Aronan.
It's about as
you're
good
not
of a
better
first
than
day as you can have.
And I got free dogs.
Yeah.
So, win.
That is true.
And then look and turn back at you and look at him. Excellent.
Oh, Zoe brings bacon. Hi.
Can talk.
All right. Does anyone want to recap what happened last session? Genius, you seem to be really good at this.
Yeah, of all the weeks to be not prepared, this is the one, but I'll go for it. You saw that panic look in my eyes. So we
started in the room.
Yeah, we got back to the room after the heist. Took a little effort to get the box out and open, including Aronan getting a little prick. Apparently the town of Luskin is a dumpster fire, or at least a warehouse fire. So we kind of tried to get out of Dodge.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
Headed to the dog stables outside of Luskin to collect our transportation. Got a bunch of dogs, a bunch of sleds, some warm clothes, and hit the trail, some with more success than others. Went for a couple hours, found a cave, and took a well-needed rest, and ended as the watches were ending and the sun was rising. So, well, probably well risen at this point. So,
yeah, it's actually kind of difficult to tell. It's gray sky. It just got lighter outside. Whether the sun is actually up or not, you assume so because it would be what generates the light behind the clouds, but you don't actually see it. So it is a cold, brisk morning as you guys are packing your stuff up from the cave. You are probably day and a half from fire shear. What do you want to do? Pack them up, get them going.
Well, do I need to wake anybody up, or did everybody get up already?
I think we smelled
if you want to go.
We probably smelled the breakfast. I think you said you were cooking.
Do you
Maybe.
smell what the
Or
Aronan is
if
cooking?
you want to. Aronan's not that big. I'm sorry. You cannot pull that off.
Fair.
Do you want to wake everyone up? That is my question. You had something special you wanted to do to wake people up?
Is teabagging out of the realm of appropriate?
Maybe you don't want to teabag Ellie. Might.
Yeah, I suppose
Get
that
the
would give
wrong
her the wrong
idea.
idea, huh? No, I'm gonna grab the pot that I was cooking with and start banging on it.
Oh, wow.
The echo in the cave, right?
Yes, exactly. The dogs wake up, start barking. Everyone is really woken up rather suddenly, and Krixis, Doc.
Doc actually is probably used to that kind of a wake up, so he's just kind of yawns.
I'm gonna wake up yelling, "Hey, keep your dogs! What's going on?"
Barking.
I'm just gonna laugh. Dinner's ready, or breakfast is ready.
Prince, when you start banging on the pot, Prince raises his head and looks at you, and then just puts his head back in his paws again. Just kind of lays there.
I'm gonna throw him a strip of bacon.
He goes after and starts eating it, of course.
I mean,
Ellie's rolls
I'm gonna
over
get
and
up and hopefully eat some bacon.
All right, guys.
yeah, Ellie wakes up slowly and just knock it off. I'm with him. Knock it off. It's too early.
All right, let's
The dog
get
eventually
this.
calm down and
Let's
ready
get
to
the
go.
show on the road. Everybody eat up and let's pack up. I've been sitting here bored for the last million hours.
Better you bored than waking up in the middle of the night excited.
And if there was anyone within the next 5 miles, you've alerted them to our presence.
Got a fair point, Aronan. That might not have been the best. As you guys are packing up and leashing up the dog sleds, make a perception check.
I'm still groggy. That's a 7.
Ditto.
13.
Let's see if Ellie sees it.
Borderline.
Nope. All right.
Is that a
You
Madonna
guys are packing up. Yeah.
playing in my head?
I think so.
Pushing my love over the borderline. Borderline. No. Damn it, that's in my head now, too. You're
Oh,
so
Jesus.
right, Ryan.
Sorry. I can't.
All right.
All
So,
right,
you
JC,
pack everything up.
quick question on the dog sleds. Is it a sit in the sled kind of thing or a stand behind kind of thing?
And behind.
Just wanted to
Stand
visualize
behind on
it.
rails. There is a sled where you could set stuff. Oh, look, there's the dog. There's the doggy.
There's my sled dog.
And
He would drive me right off a goddamn cliff.
that's Prince right there. Oh my God. Roman, I love your doggies.
There's something.
Stand behind. There is a basket that holds stuff. You don't have a lot of things. I mean, honestly, Doc, you may look at the basket and go, huh, get in it and hold the ring. And seeing everyone to kind of load backpacks and stuff into them. You have your bag and you're like, I could fit in there with my bag. Up to you, though, what you want to do. Thought
No,
does
I'll
cross your mind.
stand behind, but I'm just due to the Yeti warning from the day before. I'll probably leave my maul in the basket so that it's handy.
Okay. All right. So you guys set out towards Fire Shear up the trail. It is getting colder. Like you see snow standing in places. It doesn't float full on snowed yet where the ground is thickly covered like snowshoe type snow. But there's a good layer of snow that's keeping a dog sled a relevant thing at this point. As you go on through the morning, the wind is picking up. And you notice just the start of just a few snowflakes kind of coming down. Do you do anything at all during the morning on your travels?
Since we have to take a short rest every hour with the dogs,
That's what I was looking for.
probably use a portion of the those short rests to use my new Smith tools to kind of sharpen the hand axe and dagger that I have because they're not in great condition. So just trying to clean them up, really.
Make a tools check. Be your proficiency plus dexterity probably.
15.
15. Yeah, you get actually a pretty decent edge on them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't have a fire to heat them up to do it, so it's more of just a sharpening.
Yeah.
During
but
our
they
short
are in a better condition than they were.
During our short rest, I'm going to be reading my Monk for Dummies.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna practice throwing my new hand axes. You know,
Make
get a little more proficient.
make a dexterity check. There's a stump over that you got the two axes and you're just taking them and you're whipping them. Now, if you've ever thrown axes, you understand what this is like. There is an art to it. and just
It's
learning
10.
the distance. It's 10. You can get a
Mhm.
couple of them to stick in there through the process of doing it. So Ellie's kind of sitting back. She's got her feet up. She's just watching everything, and she's the one that's kind of alert. All of you are kind of into things, so she's realizing I just keep an eye out. All right. So each time you stop, you guys kind of take up these different positions, doing different things. Ellie tends to walk around and care for all the dogs, and amazingly enough, when she goes to interact with Prince, Prince is a real, just good boy with Ellie. Just a little frustrating to Aronan. But there's a special relationship with Prince and Aronan that it's more like combative brothers than true enemies. Out, you get halfway through the day in the early afternoon, the snow starts picking up and the wind starts picking up, and it goes from being a blowing small snow to like larger fat snow that's kind of blowing to whiteout conditions at one point. It's a full-on blizzard. You can't see more than like 10, 20 feet in front of you. You wish to continue going at this point.
How clear is the trail? Like, as far as not getting lost?
It's getting more and more difficult to see the trail as you go on.
How difficult is it to see the sled in front of us is the better question.
You can see the end of your sled. You can see, those of you that have two dogs, you can see the first dog on your sled, like the front dog on your sled. You can see the front of your sled. All of you can actually see your entire sled. It's not that blinding, but it's hard. It's especially if you turn and the wind comes, and you know what it is like. We live in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
It blows right in your face. And you can't put your head down against it and gonna push through.
You travel on, but look for a place with some protection from the wind.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
At one of our rests, I'm gonna recommend that we wait to actually stop until we either can't go on any further or we come across a place that has like a good protected covering.
I need you guys to make a survival check. I believe Krixis is the one with the highest survival.
I got
I have
+5.
+6.
+6. Yeah. It's Krixis
Doc,
if you
Doc
want to
is
make it
not
an advantage
surviving.
for the
I have not spent a lot of time in the
Doc is-
wilderness.
Doc is
Blackjack.
happy if he can stay with his sled. Blackjack, fantastic. You're kind of you guys stop the dogs for a rest, and you decide to go out and try and look for a shelter or something, someplace where you can shelter up. You've seen a couple of trees along the road and stuff, a couple of hills here and there. As you're walking along, right at the edge of your vision, Krixis, first of all, do you do anything to get back safely?
I'm not thinking I'm gonna drift too far away from our party, so
All right. So you're walking through this blizzard, and right at the edge of your vision, you see it almost instantly once it comes into vision. There is a person, something slumped, sitting on like a chair or something in the snow on a little hill.
wow. I'm gonna call out as much for my crew as for this person, and so kind of turn sideways and say, "Hello there."
Doc and Aronan make perception checks. The wind is howling. Doc is involved in
14.
The die hit my headphone cord. It would have been a 19, and it rolled backwards.
Ooh. Bummer, it's a stream game. You need the headphone cord.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't hear anything. You're busy like trying to turn your sled on its side to protect you from the wind or something like that. Just working on getting some form of protection. Ellie's working on trying to round up the dogs. Aronan, as you are sitting there kind of scoping out, you hear on the wind, you hear Krixis' voice as he seems he's probably a good ways away. But he calls out to someone.
I'm going to make my way towards him, but I'm going to kind of... I'm just going to make my way towards him until I can see what he's doing.
Do I see the character react to my words?
The being that you see in front of you does not react to your words. Aronan, the trail that was left behind by Krixis is visible. His footprints are still visible, is tranching through the snow. So following him is not difficult. Krixis, what do you do?
I'm gonna repeat it, but I'm gonna use thaumaturgy now, and
Okay.
to increase the volume of my voice. And
Doc, you hear Krixis. His voice clearly amplified by something on the wind, and Ellie hears it too, and she just kind of looks at you and says, "Here we go again." Kind of realizing we may be the two left behind while these two go get in trouble.
Yeah.
You see that look on her face.
Grab them all. Start trudging.
I am going to actually move off of Krixis's path because of his amplified voice. It sounds urgent, or it sounds, you know what I mean? It sounds kind of whatever. So I'm going to try and sneak up on Krixis, not on him, but sneak up on the situation to see what's going on.
Okay. Ellie kind of gets all the dogs rounded up and stakes them in this area. Kind of makes a barricade with the dogs, so stay, and then she throws some food in there for them. And she goes off following the footprints. And Doc, do you go with her? I assume.
I'd probably lead, but make sure that I'm not out of eyesight. At least until I can see.
So you lead. As you are leading, you find a fork in the footprints. And there's a footprints that are a little bit more snowy covered and footprints that are a little less snowy covered that suddenly veer wildly off the trail.
A fork. I bet you that's Aronan dropping silverware. I will. Can I tell the difference between them? Like which one would be? Well, no, they're probably both wearing boots. So.
Well, you know that Krixis went first, and there is a fresher set of prints here.
Okay, I'll follow the fresher set.
Okay, so you go and follow. Ellie kind of taps you on the shoulder, and then points at herself and points at the other set of tracks. Just being quiet, she's gonna follow the other set of tracks. There is no reaction from this whoever this is sitting out in the snow.
All right. Well, I'm going to continue forward until I can get a clear picture of what this form is.
There's a rise at one point as he's kind of up on a hill that's maybe 10, 15 feet tall or so. So it inclines eventually as you're approaching. Make a dexterity check as you kind of climb. This snow is actually getting pretty deep now. It's a good foot and a half of snow. More in other places. There's definitely a big drift here.
Dozen.
Over this hill. Dozen? So you're climbing up. The footing's rough. It's kind of strange. There's a couple of shards of ice though that are easy to grab onto and kind of pick yourself up and keep walking up to it. You get about within, I don't know, 10 feet of it, and it's a skeleton that's just kind of sitting there in old armor that's been frozen over. There's hair that's matted with snow that's frozen to the armor, and there's like a backrest that it's kind of stuck to and just hanging there. And as the wind blows, the head just kind of lolls back to the other side and pulls against the hair that's stuck to the full beard all matted in with stuff.
And it's sitting down?
It is sitting down. It actually looks like it is. It's hard to tell. There's snow that's kind of covering its legs.
Huh.
Hard to tell what it's sitting on. Aronan,
Well,
you flank around, and in the distance, you can see Krixis kind of crawling up on this mountain to see this like seated thing that looks like it's sitting on the mountain or something, or not mountain, but mound on this little hill. The wind at this point is just howling, and what do you approach further? Do you stay? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of move quickly, a little more quickly, because if something happens as he gets closer, I don't want to be too far away to where I can't necessarily do anything, because shooting an arrow in that kind of wind is probably not going to be the best option.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to hit.
So I'm almost going to run without hurting myself.
Run without hurting yourself? Okay. Krixis, what are you doing at this point? Looking at this thing.
is it what I want to do or what I should do? All right, so I will call out to Aronan.
Grin on your face. The grin on your face. What you want to do, please.
I'm gonna call out to Aronan
Be
and
an
just
adventurer.
say, "There's a deceased skeleton here."
I'm going to yell back, oh, okay.
I need you to check it for traps.
All right, I'm coming. Hold on. It's cold. I'm not moving very quickly. Stupid snow.
So you go trudging through the snow. Make a dexterity check as you start hitting this incline.
19.
19? Yeah, you easily climb up there using a couple of these handholds that Krixis was using. You get up there, you're standing up there next to Krixis looking at this skeleton that seems to be sitting on the top of this mound, frozen, just kind of hanging there, blown in the wind. You want to check it for traps? Is that what your intention is?
Yeah,
You're getting
I'm
close
going
to it?
to kind of,
Check it for anything valuable, traps.
yeah, I'm going to search the
Cetera.
entire thing for traps and anything I can kife. Detect trap. 13.
13? You do not believe this is trapped. Doc and Ellie on two separate paths show up. You approach Doc. Ellie stops when she sees them. She's just keeping an eye on them, and she's looking around.
Yeah, I'd continue forward, but not so far that I'd lose sight of Ellie.
Okay. And you're actually getting closer because Aronan kind of veered around. Ellie has stopped, and you're approaching closer, and you actually are getting closer to Ellie and them with this figure on this hill.
Okay, I'd still stay below the mound for sure.
In the distance, the yip of like a fox or something kind of whine. And if you turn and look, actually, no, I need you to make a perception check because this is a white fox in a blizzard. I don't know if you're actually going to see it. You heard it.
Is this everyone or
Everyone, yeah, everyone.
You said perception?
Dozen.
22.
22.
Get those out of the way.
Doc,
right?
we're gonna realize sooner or later that Doc needs glasses. The way the dice are going, he's just never been able to afford them before. Your Doc, you don't see anything. You hear it. Aronan, you hear it as well, and you turn and look, and you see Ellie, and Ellie's looking, and you both see it on the hill, and it's kind of jumping, bounding around in the snow. Almost seems like it's trying to get your attention.
I'm going to ignore it for the time being and continue to poke at the dead guy looking for stuff.
Okay, so you poke at the dead guy looking for stuff. You actually poke at one point, and there's a low rumble.
I'm going to poke that spot
And
again.
You're not sure. You're not sure, but you swear, you and Krixis, that the land beneath you shifted. Just like a half an inch.
I'm going to kind of peek over by where Krixis is, kind of look at him, and I'm slowly going to poke it again while looking at Krixis. Kind of like the kid.
You slowly poke it again, and about 20 feet on each side of the mound you're on, the snow kind of erupts as wings pop up out of the snow. I need both of you to make a dexterity check as this thing stands up, and you try and maintain yourself on its back.
20.
Crit.
Crit? What is it, though?
19.
Exactly. That's not an automatic success.
It's a fair point.
And neither one of you succeed. Both of you fall off of the back of this large beast as it stands up. And what you see, this thing, it stands up on 4 legs. And its 2 wings come up out of the snow about 30 feet long on each side. And it kind of knuckles in on both its wings and its 4 legs and shakes the snow off of it. This gigantic white worm with a saddle on it and a dead skeletal rider. And it roars. We need an initiative count.
Oh boy.
Oh, Ellie. Oh, poor Ellie. I suppose it's a good place for the cleric to go as last.
Oh, 7.
7.
I need one for him. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
So Ellie is
What'd you get, Cooch?
4?
5.
5?
4.
4? Oh, good lord. Krixis is 4.
So
Who's got the better? Oh yeah, Aronan.
It's obvious. Aronan goes before Doc.
Doc.
how do you
20?
Oh, I was gonna say, how do you choose who goes?
Dexterity is the tiebreaker.
Dexterity
Yeah, that
for
would be me.
your initiative count. I mean your initiative bonus. So you are prone, the 2 of you that fell off.
Should have went with my initial instinct.
What was your initial
Which
instinct?
was?
Create a skeletal soldier out of that guy. But I wanted to check him to see if he had anything valuable first.
That's a fair enough assessment. I actually need to search stat block out for this. No, not. Did not. I love autocorrect. It doesn't recognize fantasy words sometimes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, shit's made up, so it's kind of
Yeah.
par for the course there.
Different mythical creatures. You type in a word and it goes, no, that's not a word. This. All right.
No, chimera is not cinnamon. No, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
You wish this was a chimera. Oh, okay. It's just good. Oh, okay. That's tells me what stat block to use.
Man, what do I want to do?
Run.
That is
Not joking.
Oh. All right. Yeah, that's what this is. Perfect. Okay. Right. So it stands up, seeing you fall off. It's going to attack. Oh, heads or tails, Norm?
Well,
Crap.
tails, of course.
Tails never fails.
I just threw my D4 on the floor. Tails.
I don't think it goes there.
The worst place for a D4.
Yes, and honestly, it is. Except it went under my guitar, so I think I might be safe. It's actually heads. So it's going after Krixis.
I deserve it.
Do you deserve it, or I deserve it for poking?
Yes. All of the above.
All of the above.
Yes. Disturbing. Disturbing the slumber. 10 hit you? Probably not.
Does not.
Does not hit you. It only has one attack. All right. Then we move to Aronan.
All right,
You're
well,
laying on the ground.
clearly I need to stand up,
Keep
Mhm.
up.
Half your
Stop.
movement.
and I'm going to whip out my rapier. Whip it good. How close am I to it? Am I striking distance, or?
Oh yeah, you were on top of it.
Oh, I thought you said I fell
You
off
fell
of
off between its wing and its neck.
Oh.
You fell off of it. Yes, but you were on top of it, so you fell off into melee range. What I'm saying.
Okay. Okay, I gotcha. So
Like
I'm.
when you started climbing up towards the seat,
Mhm.
you were climbing on its head.
Oh,
The ice things you grabbed were its horns, its spine sticking out of its skull.
fair
Makes
enough.
sense.
All right, so I am going to take my rapier and jab, because I'm assuming I'm kind of underneath it. So I'm going to jab
Mhm.
upwards into its face.
To its underside neck region, as
Yep.
it kind of like that, and you, leaving its neck exposed, going after Krixis. You
I'm going to do
stabbing
that.
with your rapier.
Come on.
I love that it's a finesse weapon. And Aronon's like, 2 hands.
Even with 2 hands, I only got a 10.
The kite.
Does not miss. Yeah. That kind. You hit a scale square and it deflects the blow. Is there anything else you'd like to do? You have half your movement and a bonus action still.
Yep, I'm going to. Are there any big trees or rocks I can go behind?
The big rocks that you try and hide behind were it. It's kind of a flat place. It's what stuck out about this thing on a rise.
All right, I'm going to
Scout.
actually. I'm gonna run behind it, and
Be able to get about halfway behind it.
only
Be
halfway.
like under its. You only have 15 feet of movement.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so I'm gonna.
Because you stood up.
Yeah, I'm just going to move towards its center, so it's not. I'm not in direct line. Its line of sight.
Okay. So you kind of move around under its wing
Mm-hmm.
above you. All right. Doc, you see this dragon thing pop up out of the snow on 4 legs, kind of plant its wings, shake the snow off of it, and then go try to bite for Krixis. Aronan tries to take the moment to stab it and misses. It deflects. He doesn't miss. It actually hits, but deflects off, seemingly doing nothing to this dragon, and he cycles around to get a flanking position on him. What would you like to do?
Okay, how far away am I?
60 feet.
Okay. Is Aronan on the same side as I am?
He's
Or
on the
opposite?
opposite side.
Okay.
Wait, no, you followed Aronan. He is on the same
Yep.
side you're on. I gotta flip this
Okay.
in my head.
And so is Aronan also then like 60 feet away?
I'd be like 50 feet away, ish.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna see how far I can get while also pulling an item from the bag of holding, and I'm aiming for Aronan, not specifically the worm's head. I'm kind of going more for Aronan.
Okay, are you gonna
So
move, dash, and bonus action pull an item from your bag?
if you'll let me do that, yes.
It's a bag of holding, yeah.
Okay.
Or an actual
Yeah, I
holding
will.
discharge. You put your hand in there and think of it. Yes, you'd be able to
I'll
that.
do that, and then when I get to Aronan, I'll say here, and I'll end my turn at that.
What do you hand him?
I hand him the weapon they haven't seen yet.
Okay. You want to describe said weapon as you were handing it to him?
I'll describe it when it's his turn. This seems like a fun thing to do.
Fair enough. Krixis, you got shaken off the back of this white dragon. It is tried to make a bite at you, and that's kind of what you see because that's kind of where your attention is.
So I'm staring at his
things that are going.
I'm staring at his cold, dead eyes, then I assume.
Yeah, kind of like he bit at you, and he's and you got
All right,
dragon maw in front of you.
I'll just cast first level guiding bolt. At it.
Boop him on the nose.
Yeah, basically, like trying to shoot at his eye.
Okay.
And that's a crit, so 26 to hit.
Whoa, hot damn. Yeah, that absolutely hits.
Nice. Double the dice.
This is odd. So D&D Beyond now says 8d6 damage. So it doubled the number of dice I'm about to roll.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
then
I'm just
roll
do
that. That's your damage. Interesting. They started doing the crits into the die roll.
34.
34.
To his eyeball.
Fantastic.
To his eyeball.
To his eyeball. Specific.
In the face.
And then shields up and ready to go for next round. Next melee attack gets advantage on this creature.
Guiding bolt. Ellie, looking at the fox on the hill, suddenly hears the commotion and turns and sees this all happen. She is the same as Doc, about 60 feet away. She double moves to get into range, pulls up right next to Krixis with her shield up, ready to engage. She's got her mace out. She pulled out her mace as she went forward. Double move, bonus action. Oh, I think she can actually spiritual weapon.
Yeah.
So she is going to.
And that would have advantage on the attack.
Yep. It would help if. Was it considered? Oh yeah, it is considered a melee attack, isn't it?
It just says the next attack roll made against the target.
Oh, okay. Next attack roll. That would be an attack roll. Where is spiritual weapon? Cross this off. Spiritual weapon. There you are. Plus D plus 7. Okay. Should cast that. Bringing up a replica of the sword you guys had found to fight the dragon, the white dragon you fought before. And
cool.
Has a big symbol of Thander on it. And it swings and misses. It does not make contact with this dragon.
Even with advantage?
Oh, hey, yeah, advantage. Yes, even with advantage. Oh, good lord. 7 and a 2.
Not better.
No, it wasn't any better. It takes a look at the approaching. Let's see. If you're under the wing, and that's no, it isn't going to catch. Okay. The threat has come from Krixis so far, so it is going to just step back 5 feet and inhale and breathe forward a cone of ice and sleet and frozen breath, catching both Aronan and Ellie, or not Aronan, Krixis and Ellie. We need Constitution saving throws from the two of you.
It's a good thing you have your winter weather gear, huh?
Something tells me it's not going to help a whole hell of a lot. Constitution saving throw. What did you end up with, Krixis? 3. Ellie had a 20, so she'll take half of this.
Would you like to borrow my uncanny dodge?
Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this on D&D Beyond because it'll be easier to just roll them all at once because I don't have this many D8s.
Dun, dun, dun.
So it exhales his breath, and you take 31 points of cold damage on a failed save.
Oh, God.
And half as much on a successful. So she takes 15 points of cold damage.
We're fun.
I'm guessing your nuts just froze to your leg now.
I would like to then. Sorry, John.
Yep.
I'd like to do a hellish rebuke.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Come straight, you want to.
And then, can I do that at second level? Is that how that works? Seems like that's what D&D Beyond wants me to do.
Check your features and traits for being a tiefling for your race.
Yeah.
It'll tell you what level.
Yeah. It says level second. So.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I will use it.
And what exactly is
it has to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, hellish rebuke. You point your finger at the creature that damaged you, and it's momentarily surrounded by hellish flames. The creature must make a dexterity saving throw. It takes 2d10 fire damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. At higher levels, when you cast a spell using a spell slot of second level or higher, the damage increases by 1d10 for each slot above the first. So it's one reaction.
It
3d10?
It says 3d10, and there isn't an option for 2d10, so I'm not sure.
No, because you're not actually spending it's based on your level, I believe.
Okay.
So it needs a dexterity saving throw, huh?
Correct. Of 14 is the save.
14? How dexy is it? It's not very dexy. How about a 3? Does that sound good?
Does not save. It sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound so good to it.
Just don't throw all ones there, Cooch.
Crazy 8. All 8s. 24.
Seriously?
I would share my screen, but 8 plus 8 plus 8.
Would you like to describe how this thing dies?
Oh my god. I mean, I hope I hellish rebuke right into its throat.
Yeah,
and it
absolutely.
really gets in there.
It's still in the middle of its like kind of roaring. It kind of all comes out as a frost thing, and it roars, and there's just a couple little bits that come out at the end, and at that moment you've already been damaged, and you just throw this flame back in. You see the whole thing kind of light up down its throat, in the inside, and it like coughs and there's like a smoke trail, and then it just kind of slumps to the ground. Holy shit, Krixis.
And I go down to a knee too, because I'm at 2.
Ellie turns and looks at you right away. Here, and then she cure wounds right away because she panics. So she's gonna cast cure wounds on you. Which ends up being a gets 20 points back. She cast it at 3rd level because she panicked. And then it's kind of quiet for a moment. Doc is standing in front of Aronan holding out a weapon. Actually make dexterity saving throws.
I'm going to look
Both
at...
of you.
Oh, okay, hold on.
13.
Come on, baby. 9.
So Doc holds his weapon out to you, Aronan, and just as point you're going to say something or motion to take it, this wing just knocks both of you down into the snow and covers you.
Sounds about right.
Actually, let's do a little. Both of you take 2 bludgeoning damage from this heavy thing just pummeling you to the ground.
I'm going to get up and shake the snow off and say, boy, I'm sure glad I was useful in this.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, note to self, don't piss off Krixis.
Who knew? I think both my rolls were pretty high above
You had a
average.
crit.
So.
You had a crit. It was your first one. And then you had all 8s on your Hellish Rebuke. Yeah.
Same. All right.
Wow.
So now there's a dead carcass of a worm in front of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is that
Exactly what it
rider
is.
still attached to it?
Mm-hmm. It looks like it's been, and now that you're kind of looking at it and seeing what it is, it looks like it's been attached to it. It must have died at some point, and the dragon's just been living with it on its back, the worm.
I'm going to go approach the rider again because I didn't have a chance to actually pull anything off of him. So I'm going to go search him again. And actually, I'm going to search now that the whole worm is unsnowed and cleared off. I'm going to take a look to see if there's anything valuable about the seat and, you know, where the guy's sitting and stuff.
The seat is made out of thick leather. It has bindings that have tied him into it. You get the feeling looking at it that he might have died. Oh, he must have. He must have died while flying or fighting something. Make an investigation check as you're poking around on him.
$19.
You find he has places that look like weapons may have been harnessed at one point or another. There's no bag or storage things on this. You don't think this was a traveling mount of his. This may have been a combat scenario, and anything that would have been worthy, you see along the harness empty holster spots for axes and weapons. That this guy being long dead as he has been, that this dragon worm has probably moved on and done several different things where you can see some of these holsters are ripped and torn where it might have brushed up against something. And you don't find anything that's actually of any value from the rider himself.
I'm going to stand up and hop off and say, well, that was a waste. Anything we can get off of this guy?
Well, it's still warm.
It's still blowing wind and nasty too outside.
Is it edible?
Everything's edible at some point. Yeah, when the investigation dies down, Doc will still walk over to Aronan with the weapon and say, "If this is the kind of stuff we're gonna meet out here, this is probably better in your hands than mine." And he'll hand over. I think we determined it was a short sword. It's about the shiniest. Doc hasn't seen your Dragon Slayer sword, so this is about the shiniest sword that you've seen. Maybe besides that, it's a short sword. It looks pristine. It looks, it's obviously nicer than most of what Doc has. And he says that, someone of your skills is probably better at wielding this than me. And if you take a look at it, it does have a symbol at the crossbar, and the symbol appears to be three lightning bolts joined at the tips.
Tips.
Mm-hmm.
I thank you. Is it just a regular short sword, or is there anything?
It's a +1 short sword if you're inventorying it. So it's the nice thing is it's light and finesse, so you'd be able to wield a second weapon with it and attack
nice.
with a bonus action with another short sword or dagger or something. So
Short sword +1.
Yep.
You get +1 to your attack
Make sure
rolls,
to update
which will calculate it.
Sorry, John. Make sure.
I was gonna say you get +1 to your attack rolls, and then you also get +1 to your damage rolls with it. That's what the +1 does for you.
And make sure to update a note that there's a emblem of 3 lightning bolts on it, because that's just badass.
A symbol you guys might have seen before.
Yeah.
Familiar
symbol.
How
actually,
do I? Oh, you mean just make
if
a
you
note
click,
in general?
you can click. There's a little down arrow for customizing, and you can put a note in the item if you tap on the item itself.
Oh, there we go. Manage
There's a little
bookmarks.
spot for notes.
And then it shows up on your notes on your actions tab.
Which is super cool. D&D Beyond is so damn good at stuff like that now.
It's
they've been listening to the players.
Yeah, I can differentiate between my cloak that is cut off at the bottom and my cloak that is vomit soaked.
Nice.
So noted.
There's no spot for making notes.
Did you click customize at the?
We can
do it later.
All right, right enough.
Just write it down.
Do it.
Ellie comes over to Aronan and she actually says to Krixis, "I'm gonna go check on them," and walks over as you guys are. You went up and were poking around. As you come back down off the worm, Ellie approaches Doc and Aronan. You guys okay?
Yep, not really worse for wear.
Wow.
How are you?
She stops. She goes, "I'm good. I'm gonna go check on the dogs." she like her focus went from, okay, you guys are good, okay, Krixis is good. Oh God, we left the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gonna head off to check on the dogs.
So, do you guys think this would either make a good windbreaker, potentially a source of warmth or food, or do you think this might attract things we don't want coming towards us?
Probably all of the above. I've never eaten this before, so I'm just gonna shrug. I mean, I don't think we necessarily have time to cut it apart and tan the hide and make it into anything.
No, but it'll keep well.
Do we see any place to camp nearby, like any trees or overhangs?
Check. Make an intelligence check.
10.
10. You're looking around and you're like, well, we could maybe use the dragon as a wind barrier somehow. It's probably going to be the best thing. It's the only thing you really see around that is not part of the landscape.
All right.
All right, yeah, that's probably a good idea. I'm going to go, or I'm actually going to say, yeah, we should probably just use this thing as a. You're probably right, Krixis. I'm going to go help Ellie and grab the dogs, and we can prop the sleds up for extra support. So I'm going to cruise off.
Aronan, as you start walking back in the blizzard, the wind, the whiteout conditions, I need you to make a survival check to find the camp again.
Uh-oh. Double uh-oh. 1 + 5 is 6.
6. You slowly, as you're trudging through the snow, you don't see the footprints that led out. It's covered. When about the point you think the camp should be there, the camp isn't there. And you suddenly feel very alone and lost.
I'm going to turn around and go back the way I came.
Okay, you turn around and follow your footprints back the way you came.
Yep.
You are able to find your way back to the dragon via your own footprints. You didn't see Ellie's footprints when you went out or back at all.
That's weird.
Huh.
That's really weird. I'm going to mention that to Krixis and Doc and say, so Ellie should have left some tracks to follow, right? Because I was able to go out and find my way back by following my own tracks, and she left like a minute before I did. Like, I should have been able to follow her, right?
Yes. Yes, she had just wandered down the old path.
Doc and Krixis make a perception check.
19.
You can see the last little remaining tracks of where she went, Doc.
Okay,
But the tracks are covered. They're covering up almost as quickly as you make them.
okay. I see a footprint there, but there's not much left. This blizzard is getting dangerous.
All right. All right, I'm going to try that again. I'm going to follow where Doc pointed, or where the tracks were.
I'd like to go
make
with
a
him.
survival. Okay, make a survival check. The two of you. Doc, are you going with as well?
I'm going to try to split the difference between still being able to see the worm and see them. And when I can't see the worm anymore, I'm going to stop. So at least we have a beat on that.
Okay.
So can we do it at
So
advantage?
you guys move. Yes. One of you at advantage. Which will probably be Krixis because he's
I
got a
can roll at
6.
advantage.
Oh, I got a 21.
Oh, well. Otherwise at 25 at advantage.
Okay, yeah, 25 advantage. Either you are able to follow her tracks for a while. Doc, you do stop at about 50 feet or so away from the dragon as it starts getting very difficult to see beyond that distance. At the point where they get about the point where they stop being visible, they aren't walking in a straight line anymore. They're kind of following like a loop of footprints. You hear on the wind, Doc, from a great distance away, in fact, maybe even carried by the wind, Ellie's voice calling out your names, all your names.
Is it in the direction that I think that the other two are?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, Krixis and Aronan, you do hear this as well. But it's in the distance. It sounds very far away.
I'm gonna yell back, Ellie.
There's no response. The wind is blowing in your face from the direction the sound came from.
I'm gonna look over to Krixis and say, we should probably hurry up.
We need to find the dogs.
Yeah.
The dogs will help us find her more quickly.
So you move in the direction.
I'm gonna try to use
direction of the dog.
thaumaturgy then.
Okay.
Yeah, and try to call out to the dogs
Okay,
to
what do
try
you
to
call it?
elicit some response.
What do you call it to the dogs?
Here, puppy, puppy, puppy.
Charles Barkley, Bob Barker, let me hear you speak.
Make an animal handling check.
Nine.
10?
9.
You hear them bark.
All right.
That's about it. You
Follow
hear them
that sound.
make a survival check. A normal survival check. Be at disadvantage at this point trying to find them.
9.
But you gained advantage. 9. So you move in the direction of the voices. Doc, do you go, or Aronan, do you go with them?
Yeah. I got a 21.
Okay. Doc, they turn from the direction they've been headed. And you hear the dogs and you assume they're headed towards the dogs, but they leave your sight. What would you like to do?
Okay. Does it look like they're heading in the direction that I thought Ellie would be coming from, or now not?
No. Nope.
Okay. I'm gonna take the horn out.
It kind of looked like they were headed towards where you think Ellie would have been, and they suddenly just went, "Nope, we got to go this way."
Okay. I'm gonna hope she's within 600 feet, and I'm gonna take out the horn and blow kind of just a long, casual note or scale in towards to Ellie using a charge.
Okay, make a perception check then, as you listen on the wind after blowing on the horn.
Natural 20 for 20.
You hear her yell, "Yes, yes, I can hear you. I hear you." And that's what you hear.
Okay, then I will continue on occasion to blow the horn, not using the charges, just as a regular horn, kind of the same sound, and hope that it carries.
Okay. You guys hear a horn in the distance suddenly. Aronan, it sounds kind of familiar because you've heard something similar previously in your head, though. Aronan, you want to make a survival check for me? You specifically.
Nat 20, baby.
He's
25.
You hear the dogs, and you kind of are following Doc's lead, but you're questioning whether or not you're going. You don't think you're going the right way. Doc seems certain he's going or not Doc. Krixis, sorry. Krixis seems certain he is going the right way. It's the name, like Doc fits your character like in my head. That archetype. You're following Krixis. Krixis seems certain he knows where he's going, but you are positive he's veering off course.
I'm gonna grab his arm and say, "Man, we're going in the wrong way. We need to head back the way we were going."
I swear I hear the dogs in this direction.
At that point, they all start barking, and you realize you're off course by probably a good 50 feet. You were gonna miss the camp.
Yeah. We need to go back that way.
And you guys come across the 3 4 dog sleds kind of all piled up, and the dogs inside in it, almost like a makeshift kennel, huddled together for warmth. Some of them are barking, clearly covered in snow. They look like they're used to this type of stuff, though, just bunkering down, and they're huddled together, and they're excited to see you, except Prince.
Yep.
Princess is agitated. Princess is the one she's just like walking around the edge of this makeshift kennel, just she seems very agitated in this moment.
Do we see Ellie?
No.
I'm gonna
There's no
yell
sign
out to
of
her.
Ellie at all. There's no tracks. There's no nothing.
I'm gonna yell out to
You
her.
yell out. You don't hear anything in response. You hear the howling of the wind and the bitter cold. Snowflake flies right into your ear at that moment.
I'm gonna look at Krixis, and as I'm gonna start taking apart the makeshift pen, to get the dogs ready, and tell him let's get the dogs in the gear towards Doc, and let's just yell out for Ellie along the way. I mean, she can't be that far off, right?
Well, we need to get the dogs hooked up, and maybe the dogs would be able to smell her on the wind.
So I'm going to.
Princess, once you pull up the wagon and kind of the dogs are free, Princess runs out right away and is sniffing and stuff and takes off down the initial direction Krixis headed towards this encounter with this worm, and just right out of sight.
Well, I guess that solves that problem.
One less dog to deal with.
Yeah, but now we don't have anything to pull her sled. Although, no, that's not true. We have 2 dogs from Krixis we can attach. So yeah, we'll be fine. I'll have Krixis, Krixis. Why don't you have Barkley or Barker, whichever one, take Ellie's sled, I guess.
Bob Barker can manage a sled, and we'll go a little slower, but should be able to get by with one.
That's fine. Yeah, let's hurry up. My nuts are freezing, man.
Okay, so you hook up the dogs to the sleds as you ride them. Which direction are you headed?
Towards where Princess ran.
The correct direction. No, we don't want to go towards Princess. We want to.
Doc is continuing to blow the horn, and about every 10 minutes he'll probably send a charge towards Ellie, at least to use at least 1 or 2 more charges.
Okay.
And hope she's still within 600 feet.
So what direction do you want to go, Aronan?
We need to head back towards Doc. Like, once Princess finds Ellie, Princess should be able to find us back, right? Do you really want to take everything to find Ellie? Or do you...
Apparently,
so we'll find Doc first.
Apparently, Aronan's got 99 problems, and Ellie ain't one.
Ooh.
Ouch. 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 That's indirectly calling Ellie a bitch.
Well, if the shoe fits, right?
Yeah. Well,
she's
it's
a
not.
Nice girl.
I don't want to leave her, but like taking everything and making sure everything stays the way it should without losing other stuff. Like, because there's 2 of us managing 4 dog sleds. We don't want to take everything.
We should be able to pick up Doc pretty quickly.
Yeah. So I'm going to contend we go and bring everything to Doc, and then we can take the other dogs if we need to sniff it out.
Okay. Make an animal handling check as you try and get all 5 other dogs headed in the direction of Doc.
Oh, this is perfect.
I'm gonna do guidance on myself and whoever else wants it.
Yeah, roll a d4 then, Tom.
have to roll a d4.
You can roll
You
you
can
can
add-
add it to it, but it's only going to bring you to 7 at most. So,
19.
19.
That's good.
Krixis, you get Barkley and
6.
Barker and Bill and Ted all going in one direction with 3 sleds towards Doc, no problem. Aronan, you kind of mush Prince, and he takes off and follows his sister. And you have no control over him. He is going after Princess.
I'm going to yell to Krixis. I guess I'm going after Ellie anyways. After all.
We
Bye.
shall find you.
Okay. We'll see you later.
Mind the big rocks.
Yeah, right.
Doc, in the distance, you hear dogs barking, and slowly come into vision. Bill and Ted and Barker and Barkley pulling 3 dog sleds, and Krixis along with them. I imagine Krixis probably figured out that he could put Bill and Ted on the 2 empty sleds, and his dogs could pull him on his sled, and thus getting to you relatively quickly. There is no sign of Aronan or Princess or Prince, but there are 3 sleds in Krixis.
All right, I think heading back to the worm is probably the best option. But I'll continue blowing the horn just regular style, and give them time to hopefully figure things out.
You don't hear a response from Ellie when you blow the horn at all this time. As the 2 of you, well, here's a question for you. How did the 2 of you take 3 sleds back to the dragon? You both need 2 dogs to pull your weight.
I'll walk.
Okay.
It's only, I think you said it's only 50 feet ish. So
About 100 feet-ish back to the dragon, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, you're fine getting back to the dragon. Princess comes running by you guys at one point, and she kind of stops and wags her tail, kind of looks up at you guys, and then sniffs and sees it's you guys, and then takes off.
Ellie fell down a well.
She has no idea. She's looking for Ellie. She doesn't know what happened to Ellie, but she runs from the dragon form towards you guys. She meets you guys and then takes off. About 2 minutes later, Aronan on a sled with Prince comes arriving.
Whoa.
Do we actually stop, or is it like a drive-by?
Make an animal handling check. Do better than 7.
Or tuck and roll.
6?
Question is, do you want to jump off and talk to your friends, or are you going to stay with the dog? Because
Nope,
the dog's going to keep going.
I'm gonna stay with the dog. He's attached to the sled. I have to stay with it, otherwise we're gonna lose all our stuff. I'm going.
Thaumaturgy. Bring back Princess.
I'm gonna wave on my way through. Love to chat. Gotta go.
So Princess goes by, but 2 minutes later, Aronan and Prince go sailing by. Do you guys head back to the dragon, or do you turn around and follow?
I think we gotta trust that they're gonna figure it out, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to head back to the dragon. We need to get all our ducks in a row and then go find Ellie as a coordinated effort. We can't just all be scattered running around a
All right.
blizzard-covered plains.
I'll use my last charge, the 4th charge on the horn, and send it at Ellie. And kind of a long note, but kind of a somber kind of sound.
Okay.
Like, sadly, this is my last chance.
Wah, wah.
Okay, so you below that alerting. Aronan, make a perception check. You're trying to see Princess ahead of the sled. Prince is pulling you.
17.
17, you hear on the wind, you hear Ellie yell. seems a bit panicked. It seems
Ellie, hold on, we're coming. I hope.
worried. She isn't going to hear you. I'll just tell you that right away.
Maybe she did fall down a well.
Doc and Krixis, you get back to the dragon. What would you like to do to set up a camp?
Try to make either a lean-to or use the wing or prop something up to kind of make a shelter on the sheltered side, to something that we can pen the dogs in with the sleds we have, and try to maybe clear some space if we can get a fire going in that shelter.
All right. If I can have you make let's see, what would that be? Oh, yeah, survival check. Just to build a lean-to using the corpse, basically.
13 for me.
Krixis, you want to make a survival check to assist?
Sure. 20.
20? Yep. Between the two of you, you are able to prop a wing up. You actually kind of get a shoulder under it and lift the joint of the wing up, kind of get the body rolled on its side so it's more out like this, and then are able to prop it up. It almost creates a little shelter with the body of the dragon right here. And there's warmth still coming off of that dragon. So as you create that and you kind of dig the snow out and push it up above or by the sleds there, you actually have a pretty decent shelter. The wind is, you're sheltered from the wind. You hear it howl over the top, but you think you'll be pretty warm for the evening here. Aronan, you're hanging on as Prince is mushing and just out of control. Princess comes into view in the distance, and you see her. She's kind of walking around in a circle, sniffing the ground. And as you get closer, you hear her whining. And she sees you approach, and she runs over to Prince, and then kind of sniffs him, and then runs back to this area that she's kind of walking around in a circle.
All right, I'm gonna hop off and quickly but cautiously make my way over to where Princess is, kind of looking to be sure I don't trip or fall on anything.
You hear Ellie, as you approach, you hear Ellie saying, good girl, yes, good." And you approach, and there's a hole in the ground. Like, you guys, for lack of a better term, she fell into a sinkhole, which would be, like you said, did she fall into a well? I'm like, kind of, yeah. About 20 feet down in a cavern through this hole, Ellie is standing looking up. And when she sees Aronan kind of peek over her, she's like, "Oh, thank God. I couldn't find the dogs. I got lost, and glad I had some healing left I could do." Let's just say that. You have a rope?
Yeah, I got my rope. Hold on. I'm going to so I'm going to pull up my rope, drop it down while still holding onto the other end, clearly.
Okay, thank you.
Tell her to
What do you want me to do with this?
climb up.
All you said was you wanted rope.
Yeah. Figure it out. I'm going to have her tell her to tie one end around her waist, and then I'm going to not bother waiting for her to say anything. I'm going to take my end of the rope and attach it to the dog sled, so that way we can mush her out, like kind of pull her out.
Okay. So you hook it all up. You get the dogs hooked up. Princess seems to understand what you're doing. Prince goes along with his sister. He's a little bit grumpy. So, make a dexterity check to tie the knots to the sled.
10.
10. Okay. You have a decent knot in there. You start. Do you explain what you're doing to Ellie? Yeah, she assumes you're going to pull her out. She's waiting there. She tied it around her waist and she's hanging on.
Yeah, after I tie the knot, I'm gonna go back to the opening and tell her to hold on. We're gonna pull her out, and then go back to the dog sled.
Holding on. It's tied around my waist. I am hanging on. I have nothing to kick off of or hold on to here. The walls are like 20 feet away from me down here. So it's going to be you guys pulling me my weight entirely.
So I'm going to, so I'm going to grab a hold of the rope as well, just to be sure in case the knot slips. But I'm going to tell Prince to, all right, boy, let's go. Like mush.
And Princess turns and just starts going, and she's in front. And she's just kicking snow at Prince, and Prince gets the idea, and he starts going right away. They're pulling, and you're not holds. But as you're kind of letting the rope slip through your hands as they're pulling, there's a sudden release of tension on the rope. And she screams. You hear her scream from inside. And we'll stop there. That's a good spot.
Her stupid knocking.
Is it now? Yeah.
I just looked at the clock and went, "Oh, this is perfect."
Yep, I was about to give you the timer.
I was looking at the clock. I'm like, can I make this a cliffhanger somehow? Here you go. Yeah.
Excellent.
Lizards are fun.
Oh boy.
She rolled a 3 and a 6 trying to find the dogs.
Sounds about right. It sounds about as accurate as my 6 and 6 for animal handling.
The dice sure did tell an interesting story this time.
Oh my gosh,
man.
from the combat, like Krixis was on fire today.
I assumed that would have taken a couple of rounds. Like I did not think. I thought it had more hit points than the 60 or whatever.
Krixis is not built to do 60 points of damage in a round of combat.
Was it?
It has 50 hit points. Krixis critted on the first one, dealing 34. And then had a ghetto crit hellish rebuke to do 24. He did 58 points of damage to it through 2 actions. That's insane at this level.
Yeah, that is not what I was expecting. I was expecting like to get smacked and kicked and a couple more swipes at it.
Well, to be fair, he took 31 points of damage in order to do that.
That is also true.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
If that would have been a couple more points, we wouldn't have had that ending.
Yeah. I mean, that roll was probably about average. Oh, no, that was high. That's high. Average is 22. It's 5d8 on that breath weapon. So that was a higher roll for it. But that could have, if 2 points higher, that fight is vastly different.
Yeah, no question.
Because suddenly it's on the 3 of you.
I'm on
Ellie.
my ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to imagine Ellie's next play then is to try to bring me back instead of attack.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for taking one for the team, Krixis.
So we end with splitting the party basically into 3 factions at this point. Because one's in a hole.
Yeah, kind of.
This was a thing where it was, I always wanted to, I was constantly asking you, where are you? What are you doing? Because it mattered. Are you staying together? Because, things are happening.
I'm just glad I was able to find my way back. I don't know what the hell I would have done.
You still have to find your way back.
Yeah, at least
there was a point where Aronan and Ellie could have both been lost.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, "Ooh boy, this could be bad." And then everyone went, "I'll follow my tracks back." Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So to close up shop, thanks everybody in the chat for popping in. We have quite a few people in the chat this week. A couple names I'm not familiar with. So thank you very much for.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you for joining. We are on Twitter, 2nerds1quest, number 2
Yeah,
nerds
your
number 1
support
quest.
is much appreciated.
Very much so. Genius is Lazy Dragon GB on Twitter. Cooch is Crazy Cooch. The DM, Mr. JC, is Wildfire1265. And I am Tom M. Norman. What are you pointing for?
I'm waving. I was waving. You were
it-
talking about me, so I had a pen in my hand, so I was waving.
It looked like you were doing the Brady Bunch, like you were pointing at my screen, like I'm pointing at you right now. There we go. Okay.
It wouldn't make any sense because the way we lay it out, I don't have to see this because you guys are either all on this side or you're all on this side. I've seen the layout.
If you point on that side,
But
where
on
you're
my
pointing
screen
now.
here-
Yep.
Side?
Yep.
That's you guys?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we're on the door side.
You're pointing at Krixis. You're
Krixis,
pointing at me. You're pointing at Genius.
enough.
Anyway,
But like on my screen, that's you, that's Krixis,
Yeah.
and that's Doc. So,
where was I? Damn it, I got distracted. No, Twitter. We're all on Twitter. Yeah, do that. The
Yep.
best thing you can do to support
Follow us
this
there.
show is tell other people. You know, let everybody know that you're listening. That you well, hopefully you enjoy it. That is probably the best way that you can support us right now. Is just to help us get other ears and watchers to this. We enjoy doing it. We love doing it. Clearly, we enjoy doing it, or else we wouldn't. But like JC likes to say, we're all smiling, and we're all having a good time. So come and have the fun with us on a weekly basis, every Sunday morning, 8:30 a.m. Central Time, twitch.tv/TomMNorm. Otherwise, go and rate us wherever you get your podcast from. So whether that's iTunes, whatever it is, Google Play Music, whatever they changed it to, wherever you get your podcast from, give us a rating, 5 stars. Hopefully. Let us know what you think. Give us a review. And then the other thing you can do if you've done all those other things already is go to patreon.com/2nerds1quest. We have some really cool rewards for you there, including your own individual podcast feed, which gives you a different podcast than what you would normally get on the free feed. So if you go to iTunes, you're getting a different podcast than what you get through Patreon. On Patreon, you're getting about an extra 25 minutes worth of content. You get the pre-show and the post-show, where you get to hear us talk about other things like video games and music and whatever the hell else we decide to talk about for the day.
really awful dark jokes.
And really awful baby-killing dark jokes.
Yeah, I got yelled at for that.
Did you really? I thought that was good.
Fair.
So yeah.
Reasons.
Yeah,
It was justifiable. It made me go, maybe a public broadcast is probably not the best place to bring out those dark jokes.
It's fine. So yeah, patreon.com/2nerds1quest. One of these days, maybe even this week, I will throw one of those episodes onto iTunes or into our regular feed, just so that everybody can kind of get an idea as to what they're missing. But patreon.com/2nerds1quest. Otherwise, thanks for coming every Sunday morning, 8:30 a.m. Central United States time. For all you crazy assholes not in the United States.
We should figure out
Or in a different time zone.
what that is
Oh,
based
bro.
on the international universal clock.
UTC
universal
plus something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
whatever
we're
time that
UTC
is.
plus fill in the blank, because I don't know.
We don't know. We don't know yet.
We don't know.
We'll figure it out.
I don't know.
Math it out.
Yeah, we'll math it out next week. And it'll probably be wrong. So, yeah.
Oh no, we'll get Krixis to do it. He is financial.
I'm gonna guess 18.
18.
Because that seems like a good roll.
Here, let's roll a d20 to determine where our time zone is.
So for me, for JC, for Cooch, and for Genius, we'll catch you next week.
Remember, hills are dragons.
Are they though?
It's probably been sitting right there just looking at you.
Oh,
We
good
have a
session,
show
guys.
title, don't we?
Yep,
Vote
let's
for.
go to, and anybody in the chat wants to as well. I put the link in there, tommnorm.showbot.tv.
We saw Tom furiously typing low casually.
That came from John. If you weren't looking at the comments, that came from the comments.
Oh boy. Well, I will go with the crowd as much as I love boop him on the nose.
I mean,
Oh, someone else went boop him. I'm doing boop him on the nose then.
That was me. So
We have a tie.
So am I the tiebreaker?
So s-
Is nobody else going to vote? We need other
Give-
votes.
if there's anybody left in chat, let them vote.
Aronan, oh, just 4 nerds is. I think we actually need to. I'm not a show title just for nerds, but I've been thinking about the 2 nerds, 1 quest thing for a while, and us being 4 and just 4 nerds screams.
Yeah, soon
I don't know if anyone else has that for something.
as soon as
but
you change that, he'll be like, "Let's make it 5. Oh, let's make it 6."
Exactly right. I've also been told we need a female presence on the show.
I thought you were our female presence, John.
I try and be, but apparently I'm not. I'm not good enough. That was my argument. I said I am the female presence on the show, and got a good chuckle.
so Jack says it's -6 for sure, and I trust Jack. with my
-6
life,
for
so.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. -6.
I think
UIC.
-6 and +18 are
guys
kind of the same when you're talking 24.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
The question is, are there
Probably
24
not,
time
sir.
zones to cycle the world?
It seems to stand to reason that would make sense.
I would think so.
I feel like Google knows that. Maybe Siri, possibly Alexa, Cortana, maybe.
Cortana, useless.
I
Useless
love the
bitch.
fact that they named her Cortana. It's like, really? You took it from Halo? Really, Microsoft?
Oh,
Does
is
that
that where
shock
it
you?
comes from?
I suppose. Yeah, she is the AI program that runs the ship for Master Chief.
Now it makes a lot more sense.
Oh yeah, that's where that name came from. So an AI program that runs your computer, assists you by your computer.
Tom M. Norm, you're gonna have to be the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting to see if anybody else was going to pop in and vote. You do realize that it does have to be below casually.
Okay.
Just
The
because
wind
that's...
was howling. It really does make sense.
Also, that is my humor.
Good
Okay.
stuff today. I didn't get to attack. I was looking forward to my first combat, and all I got to do was run and hand out a sword.
Blame your cleric with the hot dice.
Yeah, I mean I can't complain about it because worms.
Yeah, I mean, certainly wasn't expected. But
You were going to ask something, Norm?
Yeah. What was I going to ask? Oh, I was going to ask about the sword. So that sword, my rapier is martial and finesse, but the short sword is martial, finesse, and light. So
Correct.
do they
So
both
I
have to
think-
be? Do they both have to be light in order to be dual wield?
Yeah. So finesse is the quality that lets you use your dexterity instead of strength, which I'm sure you want to use. And it also allows you to use your sneak attack for the extra dice.
Mhm.
Light weapon is what you need to use if you're going to dual wield weapons. So one left, one right. So when you attack with your rapier, even though it's a one-handed weapon, it's too big and too, like, I don't want to say clumsy, but kind of like that, where you don't have the ability to make a second attack with your offhand but a short sword is light, so it does. So like short swords and scimitars, daggers, I think hand axes also. There's a few other ones that you can use for light. So
I could do the short sword in one hand and a dagger in the other, and not take any disadvantage because they're both light.
right, your offhand, I think still. Again, it's in the customized settings. You can add it as a dual wield in if there's a little checkbox, and it'll put it in your bonus actions. And I think typically then it takes away your dex or strength bonus to because it's your offhand, it's not your dominant hand.
I have
and
two.
There
I
are
have,
some.
I was gonna say I have 2-weapon fighting in my bonus actions already.
That's
I
it's not a
think
everyone has.
I think everyone does.
No.
Yeah.
So, but if you actually go into whichever weapon you're gonna use in your offhand, there's a little checkbox in the customize that says dual wield. If you check that box, it'll move it from your actions to your bonus actions and put it under two weapon fighting.
So do I have to do that with my daggers then?
Just one of them, because
Whatever.
sometimes you may use your dagger in your main hand, and then just say which dagger you're using. So
Okay.
And this is something the next time you get a feat, Aronan. I don't know if you took dual wielder last time, but the next time you have a chance to take a feat, dual wielder, you gain a +1 bonus to AC while you are wielding a separate weapon and melee weapon in each hand. You can use 2-weapon fighting even when one-handed melee weapons you are wielding aren't light. And you can draw or stow 2 one-handed weapons when you'd normally be able to draw or stow only one.
So then I would be able to use my rapier and short sword then.
Correct.
correct. You could even use your Dragon Slayer longsword and the short sword +1
Oh.
at the same time at that point, as long as it doesn't have the two-handed property.
Okay.
So like the maul can't be used that way.
And on top of it all, you get a +1 bonus to AC,
Nice.
Which is awesome.
which is cake, man.
It's
Frosting.
almost as good as getting the +2 to your dexterity, because that bumps up your AC, but this
Mhm.
would also bump up your AC.
Nice.
So.
I'll have to.
Slick.
Yeah, that sounds like something I should probably use, especially considering I have dual daggers that I've been carrying with me since day one.
Yeah, you have until
Nice.
at least level 8 to figure that out, though,
Jack joined the
because
Discord.
that's the next step.
Welcome to the Discord, Jack.
Sweet.
Whoop whoop.
That's awesome.
All right, let's see if there's anybody.
Yeah,
on
that
the
was-
raid.
The symbol on there, you guys, nobody made real much of a comment, but I know we were kind of in the heat or aftermath of battle, so I don't know if you guys
I didn't make the
Eventually.
need to. Okay, I mean there was a show title joined at the tip, so I thought I said it that way just to see if you guys would make that connection, but
DM
I
picked up
didn't.
on it
What
right away.
else?
I know.
DM did.
What else
But
has
Ellie
that
didn't pick up on
emblem?
it.
You've
There was
seen
a you've seen the emblem before on the ground and on the floor and on a map.
Interesting.
I think those are the 3 places it's shown up. And then you actually had a rather large encounter. You had a very well. You didn't have the encounter when it was first seen. You were tied to a bed at that point.
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna bump us. We're gonna go raid Bombats. He's playing. What is he playing? He's playing. He's playing Rocket League.
I love
That's
Rocket League. Hey.
Rocket League's fantastic.
Yep. So we are gonna give him a raid. He likes to sit down on us every once in a while, so we'll surprise him with the raid.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, my daughter needs something.
No
So,
nonsense.
Yeah. Go pack, go. Right.
Yeah, it's a
Oh, hell yeah.
3:30 game, right?
Yes, it is.
That's
9
fine.
and 4. Here we come.
Cool.
That's how I get them.
You gotta assume that against anyone in the NFC East, right?
Yeah, I hope so.